The data is clear. There's been a big increase in that kind of crime, with many of the thefts involving teenagers stealing Kias and Hyundais, part of the so-called TikTok challenge. Well, a study done by the Council on Criminal Justice found car thefts jumped by 33.5% from the first half of 2022 until the first half of this year. And just down the thruway from us, Rochester ranked as America's worst city with a whopping 355% increase in car thefts. Second worst was Cincinnati, a 162% jump, and then Buffalo with a 135% increase in car thefts. Experts say the spike is due in large measure to just how easy it's been to steal those Kias and Hyundais. Joining me live right now is law enforcement analyst Jeff Rinaldo. He's a partner at Vista Security Group and former Buffalo police captain. Great to have you here in studio. I don't know that those numbers necessarily surprise those of us who have followed this. What does surprise me a little bit is that Buffalo ranks so high compared to the nation as a whole and a lot of these other cities. What do you think is behind what's happening here locally?
Well, I think if you look at the numbers, and especially in New York State, there's been a lot of changes in raise the age laws, bail reform, things of that nature. So unfortunately, you're seeing the same people commit these acts time and time again. And unfortunately, there's no consequences for those actions. So it's almost becoming a ritual in terms of just having the ability to go out, steal these cars. If you happen to get caught, you get a piece of paper that says, please show up to court. So you go out and do it again.
Is there anything in the law or that they could be charged with for repeat offenders to try to crack down on that? Because I assume those who have supported criminal justice reform and the state bail reform wouldn't have wanted to see this be a result of that, right?
Correct. I mean, there are things the legislature could do, but on a local level, there really isn't. And specifically with raise the age, we're seeing a lot of cases where it's 15, 16, 17-year-olds that are stealing these cars. And unfortunately, the age of criminal culpability is now 18. So 16 and 17-year-olds are being treated like 13 and 14-year-olds, and there's really not any serious consequences for those actions.
I know that local law enforcement departments have tried a lot of different strategies, right, to try to fight back against this. How have those been working, you think? And I assume that's a thing that's constantly evolving.
Well, again, law enforcement's always studying an issue to figure out what's the best solution. You don't want to see police chases over these stolen cars, because the likelihood of somebody being injured or killed is very high, whether it's the police officer, the public, or the suspect themselves. So now you're employing technology. You're seeing where helicopters are being used, very expensive option. But you're also seeing on the intelligence side, looking at the data and saying, is there a particular neighborhood, a particular area where these thefts are occurring more often, and then doing very targeted and directed patrol to try to discourage and tamp down on the number of thefts. But really, the car owners themselves have to take accountability in terms of making sure that they are not leaving keys in the car, that they're using wheel locks if you happen to own a Kia, and there's just no quick fix right now for stopping the ability for a thief to steal that car with a cell phone charger. So you have to also rely on the public that they're going to do the best they can to secure their vehicles to help cut down on the number of thefts that we're seeing.
Yeah, when you were with Buffalo Police, I don't know how many times we talked about people leaving their keys in their car and then they get stolen or broken into. Finally, obviously lawsuits continue against Kia and Hyundai for what a lot of people consider to be a defect with these cars. But as you mentioned, they have put some, software upgrades out there, these wheel locks and that sort of thing. Yet the thefts keep happening. Is it just that some people aren't taking the right measures?
I think some people aren't taking the right measures, but I do think that Kia in particular has been kind of slow in their response. Apparently there's a few model years that the technology fix is just not readily available for. So, personally, if I owned one of these vehicles, I would be doing everything I could to secure it, because it doesn't matter if you live in the inner city or out in a very rural community. These thefts are happening everywhere, right off dealer lots. They're happening.
They really are. Security expert Jeff Rinaldo, partner with Vista Security Group. Thanks for coming in and helping us understand this.
Thank you.
Good to see you.